Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
There's only one other good play on Minnesota.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
We're back for another NBA Up to Lock show here on the Run Pure Sports channel with my guy, DC. We're going to break down this nice 5-game DraftKings slate. Actually, FanDuel, 5 games on the main slate as well. I don't know what's going on there, why they don't have these late games up there. But, yeah, whatever, 5 games tonight, DraftKings from 7 to 8 o'clock. And we just got the big news, too. Me and you were flapping our gums a little bit, talking about your AI stuff that you got going on and MMA and baseball and all this good stuff. And we get the Cade news, but before we go on, so it was kind of perfect timing anyways, DC. We get the biggest news. Well, I think we still have a little bit more news to kind of wait on, but the biggest news for sure was Cade Cunningham in or out, and he is out here. So, we're ready to roll with that. Even Reggie is pumped up about no Cade Cunningham. You were saying before we get to play our boy Dennis Jenkins while everyone else plays Jaden Ivey again.
We saw this exact scenario. A couple weeks ago now, Ivey got the start. Everybody played Ivey, and we talked about the show. Jenkins is a way better point guard, and he ended up stealing Ivey's minutes in the second half, had a big game. Ivey didn't get there. And I'm guessing you'll see the same thing tonight. I think Ivey will start. I think the majority of the field will play Ivey. And, less people. I think he's like 20% owned. So I bet it'll be higher than that this time. Jenkins at 3,400, but I do think he's the better play. You could play both for sure. Ivey's cheap as well. But, yeah, that's an interesting spot as the last game of the night. A little bit more news are waiting. Both Zion is a big one that we'll see. But that's kind of mostly it, right? I think we've got, no other real big news that we're waiting
get
on.
some random shit that kind of pops up. It kind of sucks that we don't have those late games on this slate. I love how they pick and choose when they want to randomly put the late games on and when they don't, because I kind of wish we had the Toronto game on. By the way, did you watch the Toronto game last night where Emmanuel Quickly just went absolutely nuke?
No, I didn't see it. Sorry.
He was on fire. Literally, like him, Sandro, they were just absolutely smashing. And I didn't play either of them, so I was just sitting there. I was sitting there with like Scotty Barnes, who was like decent. And I played like some of the Warriors and stuff, and Quickly and Sandro were just absolutely crushing. And of course, like a bunch of us like got off Sandro when he wasn't starting. I don't know if you stayed on him or anything like that, but
I did stay on.
Yeah,
my players though, they all did awesome in the first half and just had the Jamal Murray. What the fuck was that second? I didn't see
that. Was great. That was great. That's another. Well, that's how I felt with a lot of my teams.
I had him for king of the court. I was like, headed to the club at halftime. I'm gonna go spend my $20, but no, it didn't happen. Harden blowout, didn't play.
Yeah, 26 at half, and then he scored 2 points the second half.
Yeah,
something like that.
I thought he had I thought it was like 39 fantasy points at half, and ended up.
No, but he had had 26 at half, like 26 actual points, not fantasy points, like actual points. Yeah. I think he scored 2 at half. It was in the second half. It was disgusting. He ended with like 28 points.
What happened? Did you see it? I didn't watch the game.
It was just gross. Because I played Jamal on like all my teams. He was my favorite play, and just second half was not our half. I think they scored. So in the first 2 quarters, the Denver Nuggets scored like 30 plus points in the quarters. In the last 2 quarters, they scored like 17 and 19 DC. So just their whole offense was terrible. In the second quarter was pretty much, or second half was pretty much what happened.
Usually if my teams don't work out, I'll shoulder the blame. I'll say that's on me. I should have built a better lineup. Last night, Jamal Murray, that one's on you. That, like, what? when I feel like you got it right? If they put up freaking 40 fantasy points in the first half, but
dude, he was on fire in that half. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't want to even talk about it too much.
Yeah.
It's just that was a crazy thing. Yes, we do. We have a little futures MMA show later tonight. Me and Mike are going to record that around 8. So we're going to talk more about divisions and futures bets and stuff like that. Guys who could potentially become champion, in the year of 2026, stuff like that. Mike does a really good job. He's got, it's more him. I'm going to be tailing a lot of Mike's bets, but he got a really good pulse for this type of stuff. He's been doing it for years. He always has some good.
I've seen him.
Value.
Yeah, he's sharp on this this long-term stuff. I've seen him post some very, very bizarre market, on just
like 20, literally he's got guys 30-1 to be champion that are not out of the realm of possibility, crazy stuff when you look at it and you're like, how is he 30-1?
Yeah, I've seen him post on Twitter though, just complete, not in MMA in any way, just very, very bizarre markets where he, so my point is he's very sharp on kind of hunting out this long-term value. So I'll definitely.
Oh yeah. He actually asked me one time, he's like, I love MMA, but can I post weird shit if I find it? And I'm like, yeah, of course. Who gives a shit? I don't care what it is. If it's a winner, it's a winner. It doesn't matter what it is.
We like winners in any form. Post
exactly. That's what I tried to tell him.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm not a drinker at all. So I only drink when I absolutely have to. That's about it. So no drinking for me on the show. Absolutely not. Yeah. Quickly 40-10 at 3% was, fun if you had them, not fun if you didn't. And then the Nurk triple dub. Yeah, the Nurk triple dub was unreal. I guess matchups don't really matter right now. When that dude's playing DC, he's awesome, but he's not on this slate, so we don't have to get into him right now. Let's get into this slate here, DC, and we'll get to the Cade stuff here in a sec. Obviously, we're going to speculate, though, because we're probably not going to get, unless they already posted a starting lineup. Did they post a starting lineup?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So we're just going to have to assume a little bit, but we have what they did last time anyway, so that's not going to matter. But let's start with Cleveland and Charlotte here. First game, it's the only 7 o'clock game that locks here. No Darius Garland still for Cleveland. Max Struss still out. Sam Merrill still out. Tajin Saloon back for Charlotte. Trey Mann in as well for Charlotte. So you got Charlotte, who's, pretty healthy for the most part anyways. And Cleveland, that's, down a few guys here, specifically guards, DC. I do see that some of these Charlotte guys are projecting pretty well. Miles Bridges, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller are the interesting pieces. I mean, LaMelo Ball is just, the minutes just keep going down. And I know that some of these were blowouts and stuff like that, but yeah, it's that kind of helps the other guys, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just can't play him in LaMelo right now. I mean, 19 and 21 minutes in the last 2 games. It's just can't do it at 8K. So it does open up a little bit more value in those other guys, like you said. I think I ranked them. Yeah, I mean, Sabres got LaMelo projected pretty high, but I ranked them as they have them here. Miller, Bridges, Khan, I think, in that order. I think all 3 guys are pretty good plays, though, especially if you're on the Cleveland side, which I do think is the overall more interesting half of this game with Garland out, Maryland, Strus all out, right? So they are pretty thin in the backcourt. Mitchell, I think, is an awesome spend up tonight. Like the matchup for him for sure. Tyson he's been up and down, right? But he's had some big ceiling games. Obviously had the 50 burger a couple games ago. And then I think DeAndre Hunter off the bench is a pretty good play. I think the minutes are pretty secure right now, probably around 30 minutes most nights. Good matchup, 5,300 and fills either forward spot. I do like him as an early play as well. So Cleveland looks good to me here. You can certainly run it back with the Charlotte guys if you want to. And, almost a 240 total in this game, expected to be close. this could be a good game stack off the bat, especially on a slate where we don't anticipate a ton of news, right? So you can kind of grab your values and feel pretty good about them and maybe not needing to change them. So, yeah, I like this game quite a bit, especially the Cleveland side.
Yeah, I mean, there were 2 games coming into this slate that I thought were pretty good game stacks with the price tags on DraftKings. This was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like, I like your take on DeAndre Hunter. How I view DeAndre Hunter, I think he's like a pretty safe play.
Yes.
I don't know if like the massive ceiling is there for DeAndre Hunter right now with kind of the minutes the way they are. But I think like you kind of fall into a lineup where he hits as a last piece. I'm fine with it. You give me 30 fantasy points, maybe 32, 33 or something like that, and I'm good. You know what I mean? I think he kind of fills that void. He's solid. But the dude that I think for tournaments is like a ceiling type of play, like a winning tournament type of play, is definitely Jalen Tyson. Now you got to pay a little more, 6,100. But I mean, this dude, yeah, he's not going to always have like big games. Like he's not going to always have these massive games, but he can give you big games randomly. He'll pop up. I mean, he had the 52 burger, and we've seen it when guys have been out earlier in the season. This game against Houston where he had 46 in 30 minutes. He's been doing this, DC, kind of randomly all year. A 51 down here against Indiana. When he gets the minutes, he has the upside to give you a big game. So it's inconsistent, but for tournaments, you kind of want to lean into players like him that are a little more inconsistent, but have the upside to just smash the tag at 6,100. Whereas like DeAndre Hunter, I think is more of like he fits as a last piece, you plug him in, you know what I mean? But like this dude has a chance to smash that $6,100 tag. So I like him a lot for tournaments. I think he makes a lot of sense here. And then if I'm paying up, I'm definitely choosing Donovan Mitchell over, Evan Mobley or Ball or any of the top tier spend ups there. Everyone else though, like I think those are the 3 Cleveland guys I'm into, Hunter, Tyson, and Mitchell. And I don't really see much else I like. The Charlotte side, though, I do think with Ball's minutes kind of being the way they are and them kind of leaning more into, Brandon Miller at times and Con Knipple, who's had some big games too. I think those are the 2 guys I'm most interested in. I do see Miles Bridges getting a lot of love here. He's very hit or miss, but the price tag looks nice on Miles Bridges. I wonder what's he projecting for ownership right now. Let's see.
Around 20% for Bridges.
I see. It seems a little high for Miles Bridges and his inconsistency, but I get it. People see him under 7K, and he's gonna shoot the ball when he's out there. He's a solid player. I understand it. He's got 40-point plus upside, so I get it. I'd probably lean more Miller, Con, and then Bridges if I had to rank those 3 kind of the way they are. And then after that, I mean, do I want to play Diabate? I don't think so here on this slate. I don't really love it, but he'd be more of a last piece too, I think, just if he fit and I needed a center or something like that. But I don't want to. I mean, they do have Kalkbrenner, who's been back, DC, and he's been, I think, decent enough to where you don't want to play him either, but I think he takes enough away from Musa to where you don't want to play Musa either at 5,200.
Yeah, agreed with everything you said, especially with the Tyson upside comments. It's like, not that he's going to do it every game, but there's a lot of players who they're just not going to go off for like 35 or 40 real points essentially ever, right? But he's proven a couple times that he does have that upside in his bag. Kind of once you've proven it, it's there. So I'm with you. Tyson's good. Hunter, I agree with you. Safer play. I like him in a game stack if you like this game as much as we do. But Tyson is definitely the one with the upside. Bridges,
If you could only play one player from each side, DC, who would be your favorite in this game?
I would go Tyson and I think Khan.
Okay, I'd go Tyson and Brandon Miller, I think. Khan's close, but I think I'd go Brandon Miller.
I think Miller and Khan are clearly the ones with the better matchup compared to Bridges. I mean, Bridges, you have to go against Mobley, right? This whole game. I mean, it's a tough defender to have a ceiling game against. It happens in basketball, right? You don't want to overrate the individual defensive matchups, but clearly an easier path, I think, for Miller and Knuppel than it is for Miles Bridges. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think those five.
I think Miles at times, I don't know. I watch him play this year, and I feel like he just falls in love with the 3-point shot too much at times. And I know sometimes he hits them. He's kind of a little streaky with it at times, but I don't know. I feel like that's not his game. Like, he's a bigger bodied forward who should want to attack. You know, he has physicality on his side the majority of the time when whoever's guarding him, whether that be Mobley, you know, who's got a size advantage on him. But Miles is strong. Like, he's strong. He's big. He should be using that to his advantage. I just feel like he doesn't always use that to his advantage.
And in a matchup with Mobley, is he really going to be? Is the offense priority going to be Bridges trying to drive on Mobley?
Probably not. Yeah,
probably not. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense. So we'll see. But
yeah.
I do think Khan and Miller are the better two plays.
Yeah. All right. So we're close to on the same page there. I didn't hear this. Strong rumors of Hunter wanting out of Cleveland, whether that means he plays better or worse. I don't that could be hit or miss, because sometimes when guys know they want to get traded, they'll play, maybe they'll give a little more effort to like hopefully get a team interested, and then it's easier for their team to trade them out and stuff like that. But I don't know, like, his situation is he's on a good team. So, like, he's on a good team. That's a lot. I feel like that's a little tougher in a way, because he's on a good team. It's not like he's on a bad team where it's like, all right, I'm going to like play good for this stretch, and then they'll get rid of me to one of these contenders. That's kind of weird that he wants to get off of a contender. Maybe because he's not starting, DC. He doesn't like not starting.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a starter, I think, most of his career up until they moved him to the bench. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. But those rumors have been going around a while, and he's playing just fine right now. So
I feel like he's a perfect six man.
Yeah,
I literally feel like when I watch him, I'm like, he's a perfect six man. Like, that's his role. Like, he literally fits it so well. But, you know, who knows? Maybe some of these guys might have egos. I have no idea if he does or not, but maybe he does.
He might disagree with you. He thinks he's
disagree with me. Yeah, he might not like that. So, hey, DeAndre Hunter, I think you're a good player, man. I think you're a really good player. But all right, that's Cleveland and Charlotte. Clearly a game that we are into here. What about Indiana and Boston? Jaylen Brown, he's kind of bounced back, DC. He had a huge stretch where he was just on fire, and then I don't want to say cooled. He kind of came back to earth a little bit. You know what I mean? Giving you a few, 40 burgers in a row from that stretch where he was giving us like 50, 60 a lot. And last two games, 56, 51, getting back up there a little bit. He is 9,800 on this slate here. What are we doing with Jaylen Brown and these other Boston guys? I mean, can you sell me on any of these Boston guys?
Not really. Kind of a similar story with Boston as it is when they're healthy, right? It's just hard to play multiple of these guys in the same lineup. And it's even, I'm not paying the 8,300 for Derek White. Like, it's just not going to happen. I think Brown's the guy to go to among their kind of big three of Pritchard, White, and Brown. I don't hate Simons off the bench at 5K. Like, your minutes are going to be there, right? It's 25 to 30 minutes every single night. He's a score first guy. He's another one who had that huge game a few games ago against Miami. A really volatile player, but one that I do think has upside at 5K. And then I don't mind Neemias Queta either, but just, again, more of a last guy. And I think we've said that about him a lot, because he's got like the most consistent
Because he's going to
production.
get you 27 every single game,
Yeah.
27, 28
So
every single game.
you're not excited about it, but if you got a team you like, I think he's
Yeah.
a pretty reasonable play. And I don't really see much on Indiana to like. Jay Huff 5K I think is fine if he starts.
You
But I don't
got to
know.
be careful with him, man. He is
Yeah,
just he's
minutes are always.
brutal. It's not even him. It's his run. It's not him. It's Carlisle. It's the run he gets. I mean, look at these minutes: 19, 28, 16, 29, 13, 23. DC, that's in a row. I read that to you in a row. Those are his minutes. They are as inconsistent as you will find for a guy that's starting. Like
It's
so
true.
inconsistent.
It's true. But I kind of think in some situations I like leaning into the minutes inconsistency because they're priced at the median and you can get the
Yeah,
upside.
that's true.
But that's not really true of Huff tonight, right? Because he's 5K. He's been in like the low 4Ks recently. So I like to kind of price sensitive with him a little bit. So I don't think I'll get to Huff.
I also always worry because now Carlisle's got another body back with Isaiah Jackson being back the last couple games. And I'm like, there's just another center that he can just fuck Huff with and pull him out there for old Isaiah Jackson back in our lives. So I always get worried with that type of stuff. But yeah, the Indiana side, I think it's even more cut and dry than the Boston side. Boston side, I like you said, you could play Cada. Jaylen Brown, you can obviously spend up for. I struggle to pay the price tag on Derek White for sure. Peyton Pritchard seems a little pricey right now because he's been in a stretch, but he's another guy. Like he can give you 40. Like in this matchup a couple games ago, put up 45, took 22 shots. I mean, let's be honest. Like look at the shot distributions here. The last couple games, 8, 4 against Miami, 22. That was the Indiana game. 9. DC, like 3 out of those 4 games, he had bad games. It's not a shocker to me. He only took 9, 4, and 8 shots in those bad games. And the one good game he had, he took 22. That's the difference. If he's gonna take 15 plus shots, he's going to probably have a good game. The problem was, though, there was no Jaylen Brown in that game where he took the 22 shots. I'm pretty sure Jaylen Brown sat for that game. So that is what worries me. Peyton Pritchard's, shots are going down. And, maybe it's just because Jaylen Brown's just jacking up so many shots. I mean, literally 30 shots a game is a lot for even the star DC. That's a lot of shots.
I've played almost no Peyton Pritchard when White and Brown are in, really all season. For all the reasons you said, and I'll probably stick to that tonight. So yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, it makes sense. So Brown and Cada, the only 2 plays. I think for me, the only play I could consider, and I don't even like it that much from Indiana, would be Andrew Nembhard. I still think his price tag is 6,700 is fair, but he's another guy. Like he's very consistent what I think he gives you, and he'll have the random ceiling game, but it's not as often as you'd like. But for tournaments, he does have the ceiling upside to get you there. So that's why I like him. At worst, he's going to get you probably in the 30s, and he does have higher upside if you want. So yes, Brown is in. I know Brown's in. Yep. I know Brown's in. I was making the point of Brown was out last game, the game where he took the 22, and the other 3 games he only had 8, 9, and 4 shots or whatever it was. But yes, Brown is in, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's go to the next game here. Maybe we can pull a few more plays out. Guys, if you have questions or you have 2v2s you're running in your head and stuff right now, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them as we go through these games here. Brooklyn and New York Knicks here. Battle of New York. We got it in the Knicks, Madison Square Garden here, DC. I see Cat. Cat's had some good games here recently. Kind of has a friendly price tag too. Still 8,600 for Cat. Jalen Brunson's at 8,500. He's had kind of a rough stretch here. What are you doing? I think most people right now would lean Cat. Any Jalen Brunson though? I mean, 8,500. I know it's been a tough stretch for him, but it's the Nets. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy for Jalen Brunson to come back and put up 50 or 60 against the Nets. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it could happen. Really low total in this game, sitting around 219, and Knicks favored by 12.5. So, you're looking at potentially a low scoring blowout, which is obviously the very worst recipe for DFS success overall. So I think I'm maybe a little bit lower on this game than you are. Also, man, bad vibes around the Knicks. You see they booed Cat off the floor the other game in Madison Square Garden.
Those are my people. I'm back on. I'm a Knicks fan right now. I'd be booing with them if I was there.
Were you there in the rafters leading the charge on booing?
If I was there, I'd be leading it for sure. I'd be waving a flag, boo Cat. I'd have a sign that says Cat sucks. I'd be booing them. Boo, like the GIF where the dude with the hat, boo this man, throwing the hat. Yeah. I'd be that guy right there. By the way, someone asked, no Hauser, nice flow chart play. I'm not playing Doogie Howser. I mean, these numbers that he's doing right now are just absolutely insane. And at some point with shooters like him, they always come back down to earth a little bit. This is him shooting out of his mind. I struggle to see it continuing, DC. He is 4,900, but that 50 burger was insane. I watched that thing. That he was literally unconscious, but I mean, come on. 6 for 9, 10 for 21, 6 for 11, 7 for 10. These are some of his last games. I mean, he's shooting 70%, 54, almost 50%, 66% from the field or from three. Like, that's not sticking.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. So I'm with you.
Also, Luka Garza. Someone asked. I didn't see the Luka. My bad. The problem with Luka Garza is that he doesn't really do a ton else outside of like put the ball in the basket. Like, he's not like a high volume rebounder. And he doesn't really do much outside of that. So yeah, he could give you some points, but like, that's really it. Like, you're getting a couple rebounds, look at this 4, 4, 4. Even like when he gets 28 minutes, 4 rebounds in 28 minutes for a dude like Luka Garza, that's just not enough. 11 points is fine. 4 for 8 from the field. Okay, fine. But 4 rebounds, 1 assist, like, he just doesn't do enough in the other stat columns to get there. But it is a short slate and value is kind of lacking, although we do get the Cade value. I don't know. The matchup's not bad, DC. What do you think of Luka Garza? It's the minutes and the other stuff that kind of gets me.
I wish it was a little cheaper. 3,900 feels a little expensive, right? You kind of want him in the mid to low 3Ks, I think.
I just wish he got like a consistent 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If he got a consistent 20 minutes on a small slate like this, I could click the button, but
yeah,
it's that.
Like you said, the kind of lack of peripheral stats. I mean, you can look at the game log. It's, it's kind of like the Cada production, just a little bit less, where it's consistent, but not very many spike games, which is obviously what we're looking for. So I think I'd rather find, if you can, the 1,500 to get up to Cato, or just play someone else entirely. So yeah, I'm with you.
Me too. Let's see. Johnny says D. Mitch and Tobias, or Jalen Johnson and Duncan Robinson. Ooh, it's a good question right there. Duncan Robinson, another guy's been shooting really well from the field. No Cade Cunningham for him to DC. Honestly, I'm going to go the Jalen Johnson, Duncan Robinson side.
Yeah, I do like all 4 players, but I'll lean the 2 side as well. I really like Jalen Johnson tonight.
Brown and D-Rob versus Jalen, Tyson, and Trey Murphy. If I knew Zion was out, I'd be on the second side for sure. That's the only thing. Right now, I'd probably lean the Brown side, but if Zion's out, I'd be on the second side for sure, DC.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'd go that same way. We did just get news LaMelo will be off the bench tonight. So
Good.
that's a nice bump for these Charlotte guys we were on, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I want who's starting DC? Who'd they put in the
Zion James.
Okay, Sion. Yeah. I like that because he's kind of like just he'll stand in the corner at times, or maybe he'll get a layup at time, but like he's not gonna pull the ball away from, like if Colin Sexton was in there, he'd like take the ball away from some of these guys,
You
but
like,
I like when they.
You like Sion at all? 3,700.
I'm not a huge fan of
Yeah.
the way he plays, and I don't like it that they put someone like him with the starters, because I think that just means the starters are going to take all the shots.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's going to be a lot of. I mean, and then Diabate is an offensive zero, more or less, right? He's like just a rebounding defensive big. So it should be a lot of Kneppel, Miller, and Bridges early, right? Those should really be the three guys that are doing most of the damage on offense. So, yeah, I was even considering maybe trying to play LaMelo. No way I'm doing it off the bench, though. But, yeah, I think Kneppel, Miller, Bridges all get a little bit of a bump.
Thank you for the lineup, sir. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Thoughts on Conchar? I saw him as a value. I can't do John Conchar, DC. So the guy I like is Gigi Jackson. If I'm playing a cheap Memphis guy. Now, Sid, if you're building a ton of teams, I wouldn't take him out of the player pool. But if I'm talking like 1 to 3 teams, I kind of like Gigi Jackson as a value play over him on the same team. I know they're a little different, but 3,900 to 3,300 for Conchar. I think Gigi might have a little more minutes in the tank than Conchar does.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I think I'd lean the Gigi side of that question as well.
Tobias Harris is always a thing because when guys are out, he's always going to project well because he's always cheap, because he sucks when everyone's in. But when people are out, he's going to be too cheap and ends up popping as a value play on all these optos. So Tobias is just always going to be a thing when Cade's out. I agree. He sucks. I hate him too. I'm with you. With you.
Travis Mangone's favorite player, Tobias Harris.
Shout out Travis Mangone. We love Travis Mangone.
We do love Travis.
Jalen Johnson bound to have a game. Been horrible since. He had a decent one last time. 60. 60's not bad last game. Finally, if Zion's out, would you go Murphy or Josh straight up? That's a tough one. Ja's been playing really well recently.
Yes.
I would probably have to go Trey, though, DC. I think the upside of Zion's out is too big for Murphy.
I'll lean the Trey side too, but Ja's definitely just a really high upside play, right?
Honestly, could be a core play. And so I don't want to even like say it like that. But yeah, no usage for Zion because I mean, again, that's why they put him out there. They want him to hustle, play hard, play defense, and not take the ball away from these other guys. So that's why he's out there. You can definitely play Morant and GG. There's no problem with playing a 3,900 guy in the star on a team. Absolutely not. I don't want to even talk about the Toby 40 piece because if we keep talking about it, then it'll happen. But DC, Brooklyn, New York, you were talking about Cackett and Shannon boot off the court, which is great. I love that. Anything, though, other than that from this game, or are you kind of lower on this game?
Yeah, I'm definitely lower on this game. I do think Cat's the best play from the Knicks, followed by Brunson. And I don't see a lot on Brooklyn I want to play either. I think this game's going to be mostly played in the half court and just going to be ugly for fantasy. So Cleveland, Charlotte, I really like, and then Atlanta, Memphis should be a banger too. So I don't find myself gravitating much toward Brooklyn and New York.
Yeah, me neither. I don't see it as much here. Jalen Johnson isn't a 9K player. I don't know about that, Slappy. I don't know about that.
Might be
just because the guy goes through a stretch where he's not like that great doesn't mean he's not. No, I think he's just slowing down a little bit. Remember, it's a long season. these guys are playing, banged up at times, stuff like that. These guys go through stretches. Basketball's, they say it's a game of runs, DC. Well, that season, you know what I mean? That going through that season like that, that's the long run right there, especially when you are someone that's not, getting just rest management every other game and stuff like that for some of these guys too. And don't forget, they came into the year thinking Trae Young and everything like that. Jalen Johnson, Trae Young's been out a ton, and when he's been in, he's been limited. Jalen Johnson has had to take on more of the bulk of being the number one for a lot longer than they probably thought he was going to this year. So,
yeah, and you don't want to overreact, obviously, just a 2 or 3 game,
definitely not. No.
But Slappy's a what have you done for me lately type of guy. So,
well, yeah, I get it though. I get it. Everyone, the results, DC. Everyone wants the results right now. If Zion's out, Bev in play, or Bay in play. Sorry. Yes, yeah, I think Bay would be in play. He gets a bump.
Agreed. Yeah, Pelicans become way more interesting if Zion's is.
I just saw Big T's core and I puked. He has Ivy and Jenkins together. I just puked in my mouth. Big T, come on, be better. That's disgusting.
Taking the Ivy bait, Big T.
Unbelievable. Unreal. After we just talked about it, DC, and he said, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm going to play them both. I don't give a shit what you guys say. That's what he just said to us.
It's very hurtful.
Bullshit. All right. Next game here. Let's go to Detroit and New Orleans. Like I said, I think we get Ivy starting, Jenkins off the bench, but Jenkins did take a lot of the minutes away. And I do like Duncan Robinson. So honestly, if I'm going to play 2 guards, I think it's Robinson and Jenkins are the 2 guys I like the most, DC.
Yeah, I'm definitely playing Jenkins. 3,400, no question. He's going in my lineup. We'll get lower ownership because of the starting thing, but I kind of expect the same thing to happen last game we saw with Cade out. So in on Jenkins, out on Ivy. I do think Ivy, I assume I'll pull it up here, but I assume he's a pretty high, point per dollar value. I'm not sure if this is updated with the Cade news, but yeah, I think Ivy's fine. I like Jenkins better. I never played Tobias Harris, but I do think he's, has to have a good projection here. 5,200 with Cade out. Duran, I think, is a strong play, and yeah, Duncan too. So Detroit looks really good to me, and especially because I think a lot of the people will flock to Ivy. So if you're off him and he has a bad game, it's a decent chance it's going to go to the other guys. So I really do like kind of that leverage pivot with Detroit.
Yeah, me too. Just looking at Detroit right now. So definitely like Jenkins a ton at 3,400. I like Ron Holland at 3,900. I like Jalen Duran as a spend at 7,200. And Duncan Robinson at 4,300. I think those are the 4 guys, DC. And then it would be like the Oscar Thompsons, the Tobias Harris. They would be like 5 set Ivy, but those are the 4 guys I'm kind of looking at. I like these value plays. And then I like Duran. I think this could be a smash spot for Duran. I know we lose Cade, but we like attacking the Pels with the bigs. And I think it's a really good spot to play.
He's at Duran. He's at almost 1.5 DraftKings points per minute with Cade and LeVert off the court. So he's been really good in these scenarios. So I like the Duran call quite a bit.
Yeah, he's definitely my top center, I think, on this slate. Just looking at all these guys here. Yeah, he's my top guy for sure. Point per dollar and stuff like that. On the Pels side, I think everything's going to come down for me personally to does Zion play or does he not play? And it comes back to like, how much do you want to invest early? Because like, if you wait on this news and it hits perfect, this is why I like, playing 3 teams, because you can play 2 teams where you play early guys like the 7:00 game that we like. And then you can fade the 7:00 game in a 3rd team and wait on this news and build accordingly. And worst comes to worst, we haven't even gotten to the Atlanta game yet, but that's a pretty good damn game that I think you can target as well. So you're not dead if the Zion news goes the other way and he's in. So that's why I kind of like that strategy all the time. You see it kind of holding a game. But, right now, if Zion is out, I'm going to go to guys like Trey Murphy. Misi, I think, becomes a decent play. Queen becomes a pretty good play. Those are kind of the guys. Sadiq Bey. Those are the 4 guys I'm looking at personally.
Yeah, it would be a good slate to kind of wait for more news because, these are good games late that you could go to if things don't go your way. So, we'll see on the, what was it, an illness with Zion?
It was an illness.
I believe so, yeah. Illness looks like. So we'll see.
Sounds like excuse for set up rest day. That's what it sounds like to me, DC.
Yeah.
My
board is heavy on the Charlotte-Cleveland game, but I'll be definitely hoping Zion plays because there's going to be some really good plays from the Pelicans if he's out.
There's going to be some really good plays if he's out for sure. And like you're just going to have to want some of these guys if he's in. So
how do you rank the Pelicans if he does sit?
If he does sit, Murphy, Queen, Bey, Misi.
You've abandoned our guy. You've abandoned Jeremiah.
I've abandoned Fears. I've abandoned Fears.
You sold your stock on Fears Island. I'm holding mine. I still got my Fears stock.
Any Sasser love at 3K, DC? I mean, he is flat 3K.
I mean, I'm definitely playing Jenkins, and I don't see playing both those guys together, kind of competing for minutes. So
I feel like they'd hurt each other from like their ceiling minutes, right?
Yeah, I don't think you want both guys, but good. I mean, it's 3K and going to be in the rotation probably, so it's probably an okay play.
Donnie, Tobias, or Triple J and Durant. I have a problem with Triple J, and it's that I hate Triple J. He's on the list with Cat. They're holding hands together for me, DC. I despise these guys, but the upside is always there. Where do you go here? Because I want to play Durant, so I want to say the Durant side.
Yeah, I'll go with the Donnie Tobias side. I did reluctantly put Tobias Harris into my lineup just now, which it's painful.
You're playing Tobias Harris? No way DC's playing Tobias Harris.
Him or DeAndre Hunter, I got to choose between.
I can't believe you're playing. All right.
You shamed me into moving back to Hunter.
No. Play who you want.
No one is anyway.
Play who you want. I just can't believe it. DC is like the never. I feel like you're like the never Tobias guy. Weren't you like killing Mango last year for Tobias Harris being his play of the day every single show?
Yeah, this is his favorite player. I didn't understand.
Of course.
You're right. I'm back on the Hunter train. You talked me out. It doesn't take much to talk me off the Tobias Harris play. He's gonna be chalk. Yeah, I can't do it.
I shamed DC enough into getting off Tobias Harris. I love it.
I've been shamed.
I love it. That's how you do it right there, people. If you didn't know, now you know. That's how you do it. You just got to shame them enough, and then they're like, never again, never will I do this here.
Now, if it's Big T shaming me, I'm going to stick to my guns and double down.
But yeah, because fuck Big T. I agree. When Big T shaming you, you got to go in further. Yeah. You can't let off.
You got to make an additional team with more of that player. But
exactly. All right. I hate Triple J too. Scary. If already answered, Duncan or Ivy. I'm going to go Duncan, Rick.
Me too, especially if you're playing Jenkins. I would definitely go Duncan in that scenario.
Nippler and Miller in this. No, Matt. I like them both. I think you can play them both for sure. DC, you got an issue with that?
Miller and Knipple?
Yeah, like playing them both in the same.
No, I got them both. I got them both in my lineup. No, I have no problem at all.
Yeah, I don't either. Funny thing here, DC, is I just built the team, and last piece was Tobias Harris, and I said, nope, rebuilding. I was like, I can't do that after I just shamed DC.
That's where I was. Yep. You fit right in there. Little too cozy of a fit for old Tobias. You know he's going to let you down as your last play in that scenario.
Oh yeah, He's power forward too. Power forward's not. It's not the friendliest position on this slate. I feel like Bay kind of fits. I hope Zion sits because then I think Bay would fit my teams pretty nicely here. But all right, there we go. I'm gonna finish my DraftKings score. DC, start on this Atlanta Memphis game, which I think personally is the best game.
Yeah, I think it's close between this and Charlotte and Cleveland, but certainly should be a good one here. Another total sitting near 240, expected to be close. We've seen John Morant. Seems like he's probably going to get traded. And I don't know, might be trying to play well enough to, to get the trade value up high enough where Memphis can deal him. So he seems like he's on a little bit of a mission. Obviously super inconsistent, but no question, he's got huge upside at 7,700. So I like Ja. I'm with you. I don't think I can pay the price for Jaren Jackson here. A little worried about foul trouble too, guarding Jalen Johnson. So Ja is definitely the one I want most from Memphis. Aldama, doubtful, right? I think. Yeah. So he's probably doubtful. I think Landale's pretty interesting at 5K. You like him better than Neemias Queta?
I do, because I think his minutes are going to go up to that like 28 to 30 minute range. So
yeah, I might be in on the Landale train. I kind of like that. And then on the Memphis or Atlanta side, rather, yeah, I think Jalen Johnson should bounce back here. Really good spot for him. You've got Risa Shea out too, so it's a little crowded there with McCollum, right? Because they got McCollum, Daniels, now with CJ coming off the bench. But still, it's a pretty tight rotation overall. Should be a really good up and down, fast-paced type game. Both these teams like to play that way. And, yeah, should be full of fantasy production here. So I got Jalen Johnson 1, 2. I don't hate McCollum. I feel like I know he's coming off the bench, JSU, but if he gets hot, right, which he certainly could in this matchup, I wouldn't be surprised to see them extend his minutes. We've seen nuclear games from him before. He's one of those, throw him in like the Jalen Tyson type bucket where the production is going to be inconsistent, but there are some big tails, both bad and good for CJ McCollum. So I do like him a little bit. I think he'll be pretty low owned at 6,200. And then, so Johnson, a little bit of CJ. And then I do like Landale and John Morant.
Yeah, I like the Ja play, obviously. I think Ja is a really good spend on the slate. I do like I went back and forth on like, do I want to play Con Knipple and Brandon Miller or Naw and Dyson Daniels DC? I kept going back and forth on like which combo guards do I want to fit in. I end up going with the Con Brandon Miller side just slightly, but I do think Brandon Miller, Dyson Daniels both have massive upside at their price tags and the role, because the one thing that I really like about Atlanta is the minutes, man. The minutes for the key guys are awesome when the game is close. Now, if it's a blowout, that's different, because if it's a blowout, then they're going to probably lose like 10 minutes of rotation time. But if you get a close game, I mean, Naw played 39 minutes last game against Milwaukee in a close game. Dyson Daniel, I think, was up. He was in foul trouble, so he was the only one that he played 30 minutes. But the rest of these guys, when you look at them, like Jalen Johnson was 40 minutes. These are their key guys right there. Okongwu was 34. And then everyone else was just like in the 20s or lower here. So they played their 3 to 4 main guys, like big minutes, DC. And then everyone else is just set for like 24 or less minutes. And I love that, because that tells me like, okay, you're leaning into your best players, and then you're kind of just rotating with whatever works for your other 5 guys that are after them. But it's all about those 4 guys. And if you watch Atlanta play, when they're doing good, it's really all about those 4 guys.
Yeah, clearly trying to win games and playing big minutes accordingly. And you can't say that about every team right now. So, yeah, they're a good team to attack in general, and especially tonight. And also, good for game stacks too, because their minutes are all very correlated together, right? When Jalen Johnson gets 40 minutes, Daniels, they're not going to be very far behind him. So, yeah, really fun team to stack up and a good game to do it.
Yeah. So how many Detroit?
Yeah.
How many Detroit is too many? I think you can play 4. I think 4 is fine on this slate. So DC, do you have a take? 5? Would you go 5?
I wouldn't go 5, but yeah, I think 3 or 4 is fine. Tomlin for Cleveland, he's been decent recently. Question his upside a little bit too, but I think he's an okay play, especially if you're game stacking that one up. I could see that working out.
Yeah, you're game stacking, or you're building a bunch of teams and you want to have some different like last guys in, especially power forward. DC, I was struggling at power forward, to be honest with you, so that kind of makes it make a little more sense too. Last piece Coward, yeah, he's a last piece guy for sure. Cedric Coward, what do you think?
I like his game a lot. Yeah, I didn't end up there, but I would have no problem if I did.
Yeah, I didn't get to him either, but I thought he was in play. Like if he kind of fit, he just didn't fit like where I was trying to go personally, because he's a shooting guard and I really wanted to play like the Naw or Dyson Daniels or Con Knipple or, some of these other guards, John Morant, Dennis Jenkins. So there was just so many guards on the slate. I didn't get to him, but he's definitely in play. 100% in play. I just put 7 in my pool for Detroit. Well, you should have a lot from Detroit, but I would definitely just play 4. 1 min to lock Hornets. Yeah, we're almost at the 30 seconds until lock here. I don't see any other questions. Jock Landell is the Cubs play of the day. Okay, Cubs, get in there. Jock Landell, Cubs play of the day right there. Can't hate on the Cubs play of the day. Cubs been rolling right now.
Might want to get on board.
Yeah. I think, I'm just going to go with that team I got right there. I struggled with, who'd you end up playing at power forward, DC? Who was your power forward? Because I struggled with mine. I ended with GG.
I played Bridges once LaMelo was coming off the bench. I liked him more.
Yeah, that was probably the smarter move, just to go with like a secure guy at power forward. I couldn't. I thought about the Triple J thing. I thought about it. I was like, do I want to do the Triple J thing? And then I was like, no, can't do it. Can't do it. All right, that is lock though, guys. I think we've got just about everything. We're just waiting on the Zion stuff. So hopefully we get that soon. I'm sure we'll get it like as we come off. Oh, Jazz are about to rest everyone, I bet, for tomorrow's game. That'll be fun. But DC, that'll do it here. I don't think we're waiting on anything besides Zion, right? That was the only thing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like we're going to get that anytime soon. So, yep.
Yeah. All right, guys, good luck in your DraftKings DFS for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for DC. I'm JSU. Don't forget, if you're into the MMA futures, check us out. 8 o'clock tonight we'll be on. So until then, catch you guys later. We're out of here. Peace.